Hey everyone, welcome back to the Troll Hub channel. You know, April Fool's Day. That one day a year where everyone pretends to be a comedian and not everyone is actually funny. Today we're diving headfirst into the wild world of April Fool's pranks that went so wrong, so terribly wrong, that you'll be thanking your lucky stars you weren't on the receiving end. Buckle up, buttercups, because these stories are as hilarious as they are shocking. We're talking about pranks that went from haha to, oh no, faster than you can say April Fools. Get ready to cringe, laugh, and maybe learn a lesson or two about why you should always think twice before pranking your friends. Picture this. It's April Fool's Day, and some prankster, probably thinking they're the next David Copperfield of toilet humor, decides to rig a toilet to explode. I mean, who hasn't thought about adding a little pyrotechnics to their bathroom routine? But instead of a harmless puff of smoke or a confetti explosion, this prankster went full-on Wile E. Coyote. We're talking porcelain shrapnel, waterworks erupting like a geyser, and a homeowner who probably needed a new pair of underwear after this fiasco. This wasn't just a little oops moment, people. We're talking major damage, ripped from the floorboards, cracked tile, call the insurance company kind of damage. And let's not forget the potential injuries. Figure you're practically walking into your bathroom, unsuspecting, just hoping to take care of business, and bam! You're caught in a porcelain explosion. Not exactly the kind of surprise you want to find at the bottom of a cereal box. But wait, there's more. As if the property damage and potential injuries weren't bad enough, this prankster got a crash course in the legal system. Turns out, rigging a toilet to explode isn't exactly legal. Who knew, right? I mean, it's not like it says thou shalt not create exploding toilets on the 10 Commandments. But seriously, folks, this prank landed them in hot water, and not the kind you use to flush the toilet. We're talking lawsuits, fines, and maybe even some community service cleaning up actual toilets. Talk about irony. So, the next time you think about pulling a prank involving plumbing and pyrotechnics, remember this cautionary tale. It's all fun and games until someone gets hurt, or you're scrubbing toilets as part of your court-ordered community service. Let's be honest, who hasn't daydreamed about winning the lottery? You know, the whole quit my job, buy a private island, swim in a pool of gold coins fantasy? Well, one prankster decided to give their friend a taste of that dream, but things went south faster than a flock of geese in winter. They thought it would be hilarious to create a fake lottery ticket, complete with winning numbers and everything, and present it to their unsuspecting friend. Now, this friend, bless their heart, totally fell for it. I'm talking full-on celebration mode, jumping up and down, screaming with joy, probably already mentally spending those imaginary millions. They were already planning their resignation speech, picturing themselves sipping cocktails on a beach somewhere, and maybe even buying that yacht they always wanted. But then, just like that, the rug was pulled out from under their dreams faster than you can say Powerball. The prankster, in all their infinite wisdom, decided to reveal the prank with a triumphant April Fools. Yeah, you can practically hear the record scratch in the background. The friend's face probably went through more emotions than a mime in a windstorm. Excitement, joy, disbelief, anger, betrayal, the whole 9 yards. Let's just say, it wasn't pretty. This wasn't just a harmless joke. It was a serious emotional roller coaster that left the friend feeling hurt, embarrassed, and probably a little foolish themselves. Their friendship, once as solid as a concrete block, crumbled faster than a stale cookie. Turns out, some things are just sacred, and messing with someone's hopes and dreams, even as a prank, is a surefire way to break a bond that might be harder to repair than a cracked phone screen. Okay, let's talk about a prank that's about as funny as a root canal, the fake arrest. I mean, who in their right mind thinks it's a good idea to mess with the law? Apparently this prankster did, and let's just say, they learned their lesson the hard way. They decided to stage a fake arrest, complete with fake cops, fake handcuffs, and probably even a fake Miranda warning, just to add insult to injury. Now, I'm not talking about a couple of friends dressed up in Halloween costumes. These pranksters went all out, hiring actors who looked so convincing they could have been extras in a cop drama. They showed up at their friend's workplace, sirens blaring, lights flashing, the whole shebang. They stormed into the office, demanding to see their suspect, and proceeded to arrest them in front of their bewildered coworkers. The poor friend, completely caught off guard, had no idea what was going on. They were terrified, confused, and probably thought they were about to be thrown in the slammer for a crime they didn't commit. Their heart was racing, their palms were sweating, and they were probably mentally preparing their one phone call from jail. Talk about a stressful situation. But here's the kicker. The friend had a history of anxiety attacks. And as you can imagine, this fake arrest sent them spiraling into a full-blown panic attack. Paramedics were called, the jig was up, and the pranksters were left facing some very real consequences. Not only did they traumatize their friend, but they also managed to scare the living daylights out of an entire office and waste valuable emergency services resources. Offices. Those wonderful places where we spend countless hours staring at spreadsheets, attending meetings that could have been emails, and trying to sneak in a nap without our boss noticing. But one prankster decided to liven things up a bit, and not in a good way. They thought it would be hilarious to set off the fire alarm. You know, just a little harmless fun to break up the monotony of the workday. But as you can probably guess, this prank went up in flames faster than a tinderbox in a wildfire. Picture this. It's a typical Tuesday afternoon. Everyone's diligently working, or pretending to, when suddenly, the piercing shriek of the fire alarm cuts through the air. Chaos ensues. People are scrambling, grabbing their belongings, and maybe a donut or two from the break room, and evacuating the building in a frenzy. The stairwells are packed, the fire escape is overflowing, and everyone's wondering if this is the real deal or just another drill. But here's the thing, it wasn't a drill. It was one misguided prankster with a finger that was a little too quick on the fire alarm trigger. The fire department arrived on the scene, sirens blaring, hoses at the ready, only to discover that there was no fire. Just a lot of confused, annoyed, and probably slightly sweaty employees standing around outside. The prankster, who probably thought they were the office comedian, quickly became the office pariah. Not only did they cause a major disruption, but they also managed to incur a hefty fine from the fire department. Turns out, falsely activating a fire alarm is a serious offense, and it can result in some serious consequences. Who knew, right? So the next time you're feeling a little mischievous at work, maybe stick to hiding your coworker's stapler or changing their computer's language settings. Okay, let's talk about a topic that's about as off-limits for pranks as it gets: pregnancy. Bringing a new life into the world is a beautiful, life-changing event, not something to be joked about. But one prankster, in their infinite lack of judgment, decided to fake a pregnancy announcement. And let's just say, it did not go over well. They thought it would be hilarious to create a whole elaborate ruse, complete with fake sonograms, a growing baby bump, and maybe even some morning sickness acting thrown in for good measure. They announced their pregnancy to their significant other, their family, their friends, basically anyone who would listen. And at first, everyone was over the moon with excitement. Congratulations were in order, baby names were being tossed around, and nurseries were being mentally decorated. The prankster was probably basking in all the attention, feeling pretty smug about their little scheme. But here's the thing about lies. They have a funny way of catching up with you. As the weeks went by, the pressure to keep up the charade mounted. The prankster had to invent doctor's appointments, come up with excuses for why their bump wasn't growing as fast as expected, and dodge questions about baby showers and birthing plans. It was exhausting. And then, the inevitable happened. The truth came out. Maybe it was a slip-up, maybe someone got suspicious, or maybe the prankster just couldn't keep up the lie any longer. Whatever the reason, the jig was up, and the fallout was nuclear. The significant other felt betrayed and heartbroken. The family felt devastated and angry, and the friends felt foolish and hurt. The prankster's web of lies had come crashing down around them, leaving a trail of emotional wreckage in its wake. So what's the moral of the story? While pranks can be fun, it's important to think about the potential consequences. Before you even think about unleashing your inner prankster on the world, take a moment to consider how your actions might affect others. Put yourself in their shoes, think about their feelings, and ask yourself if your prank is worth potentially hurting, embarrassing, or alienating them. Live free, enjoy life, but always be kind and considerate. Remember, a little empathy goes a long way, especially when it comes to humor. And if you're ever unsure whether a prank is a good idea, err on the side of caution. It's always better to be safe than sorry. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our community for more amazing content. And be sure to share your own April Fool's Day prank stories or disasters in the comments below.